But regardless, where were we going after that? We talked about Manny. Oh yeah, so Andre, the production on the album's fantastic. It's kind of like a in how I experienced it. I think I mentioned this in the write up that we did. Like it feels like Pink Lemonade might have been like the Wizard of Oz story, but still Soft Hell almost feels like it's taking place in the same universe, even if it's like a totally different thing. There's a lot of like sonic carryover without feeling redundant. There's just so much like experimental texture stuff going on. So was there anything that Andre like really drastically changed as far as like bringing those demos, or was it kind of a collaborative process the whole way?
I think it was pretty collaborative. Some of the demos, when we when we first started recording in 29, I don't think there was a lot of. I mean, there was. We had songs finished, but we definitely left room for things to be changed around quite a bit on some songs. Songs like what's the real name of the motive begging? Was that like that's the working title
yeah.
of it.
Um, uh, Holy Rush.
Holy Rush.
Oh, great song.
That one, yeah, that one was because it's like a drums, bass, guitar, vocals. That's a pretty simple-ish song production-wise. I think that maybe got the less change, although Andre had that idea of having the intro as just the bass, I think.
Yeah, and also
that was
tinkering with the pre-chorus progression.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he threw in those the Cinque chords.
Yeah.
He definitely had his like not just sonic touch, but his like touch as a musician everywhere.
Yeah, he's got such great, not just production sensibility, but like songwriting and vibe sensibility. And I think we really.
That was fun. That was what we were trying to
Um,
avoid.
yeah, I'm sorry.
No, that was my fault. Let me get.
Oh, I thought that was me because it was like the free meeting has ended, and I was like, shit, is there a time limit because I haven't like paid for a Zoom account or something?
Dude, that is the case, but it's because I am not paying $100 as the head of the organizer of the meeting. But
Yeah,
that's why I
right.
have the logic thing going.
Okay, cool.
But I guess we're recording again, so I'll stitch it all together.
Yeah, cool.
But okay, we were talking about Andre's.
I was just saying that yeah, Andre has such great like not just production sensibility, but yeah, like songwriting and vibe sensibility. And um yeah, we just like implicitly trusted him because he's he's just one of those special galaxy brain freaks that has the juice. I don't know how else to put it.
He's got some good ears, man.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he really sees all the way to the end. I think because he would get us sort of like he would show us, pre-mixes and early stage mixes, and we would sort of be like, oh, I don't know, can we have more guitars? But we really didn't get the stage it was at. And then as it got further down the line, you would go, oh wow, yeah, that like every next step was like, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted without you actually like was like we shouldn't have been giving notes at all almost until the end. Because when he would go, oh, mastering won't make that much of a difference. And then he does the mastering and we go, oh yeah. That's like where because we just have regular ears, we're just listening to it kind of as regular people and he's seeing a few steps ahead. He showed one time we were looking at drums for Jaeger Bomb and I remember being on the phone with Duncan Saladin and he was like, okay, what do you think about this kit? And he played it and we were all silent because I could tell we were all like, I don't like the sound of that kit. And then Sal finally spoke up and was like, it was a bit boxy, man. And he was like, oh yeah, yeah, but hold on, this is what I'm going to do to it. And he just quickly knocked up like the cheap version of the plugin stuff that he would put on, and he played it, and then we were like, oh yeah, that's it, that's perfect.
That's a guardian angel right there.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I love working with him.
That's cool. I one time I had a experience with the producer where like you were saying, we have normal ears, right? The producer knows a little bit more about what's coming down the pike, and we kept asking for more drums, and then one day he just let us have more drums and let us hear it, and then he just turns to us and he's like, "It's not the first time the drummer fucked up the album," and we were all just like, "Ah." But yeah, I learned to listen at that point. You know, it's one of the only ways you can. So I think we kind of already knocked out my next question as far as like demoing those songs. Was there a song in particular that was like just the hardest to nail down as far as where it is now?
For me, it was definitely the vocals of Jaeger Bomb, because hearing that instrumental track, I'll never forget. We were in the studio already tracking drums and bass for other tracks, sort of just pre-lockdown, like uh, uh pandemic shit. And in the album Discord group, Barett just sends through this demo. He's like, "Here, cop this." And I remember listening to it in the control room with Andre and a couple of the other guys, and Andre's just like, "This has got to be on the album." And just the way it washed over me, that initial listen with like the tempo changes and just, not having a grasp on what now feels like a pretty standard structure, but like just hearing it as this like top to bottom assault of everything but vocals. I just remember thinking like, one, where the fuck is there even space for vocals? And just the blank page stapled to a monolith. And I was just like, wow, I don't even know uh where this is gonna like what I'm gonna pull out for this. So yeah, that one was the most daunting for me. um it's weird. It's for me personally, it's like sometimes I feel like I don't know how another song could be possibly written by me or anyone else on the planet. Like it's the well's been tapped. What else is there to do? And then you just sort of like you roll your sleeves up and plant the little seed of the first little idea, and then it starts to sprout. And yeah, to go back to what I was saying about the process of those vocals with Manny, you get another brain in the mix, in the brain trust, and then it starts to come together. And I guess, yeah, it the ones that are the hardest like that, it is kind of the most exciting when you do sort of have an almost complete picture and go, yeah, this is what living's all about. We're in a fucking phenomenological universe of random bullshit, and a couple of human brains went, let's mold the random bullshit, and now there's a thing that was like pure imagination made manifest in the tangible universe. Don't get sweeter than that.
No, it does not. No, it does not. Unless you're reading one of these.
Oh, dude, bit of Robert Anton Wilson,
Jesus
baby.
Christ. Very hard to read, but yeah, I mean, um, I that's so I don't even know if that's not written down. I remember read. Oh no, this is actually the last question. You guys are one of the only bands I've ever seen that early on had things that were not other musical artists in their like influences listed on like social media pages. You guys literally had the Robert Anton Wilson and Book of Five Rings, and I was just like, what the fuck are these guys on? Um, but over the years, obviously that was like impressive and like a weird, mysterious factor back in the day. But over the years, I've talked to so many bands where it's more common that when I talk about influences or like what inspired people throughout the process, that things other than music come up more, like movies, graphic novels, anime, video games, and especially with Jaegerbomb, which is probably my favorite song. It seems like you guys like to slip in little, like maybe video game, maybe anime references. I was just wondering, do you like letting those things in and like letting people know, or do you like to keep those like secret, closer to the vest, like still drop a reference, but let the people figure it out?
We were
Well, I
having
mean,
a
in the
talk about
case,
that. Yeah, with
go
the
about,
title of
sorry.
Jaeger. Oh, we had a moment where with the title of Jaeger Bomb, you know, we was like I was like, I don't know, it's on the nose. Plus, it sounds like Jaeger bomb, which you know nobody likes Jaeger bombs.
I'll take one.
Yeah, speak for yourself. I'll fang a Jaeger bomb. Haven't had one in years.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, I think like it's an interesting case study, that song in particular, because I guess maybe it's the case, Baz, where for us, because we are in the know, it is so overt. But like if no one knows Attack on Titan as an anime, or even if they only know it in a cursory way, I don't think you'd even give it a second like glance, because I tried to construct the lyrics in a way that was like, this is very overtly an homage, but it's kind of a real one's no situation where it's like, if you know, you know, but otherwise, like
Yeah,
you can interpret it as,
yeah.
you
There's
know,
no lyric that's like this was an anime.
yeah,
yeah,
Small walls
yeah.
are coming down in this anime, etc.
And just like the whole like DJ Khaled but Aaron Yeager like soundbite every now and then. Aaron Yeager.
It's cool to see that stuff creep in more to bands, because I think that speaks to like artists giving each other more space to be inspired by other things, and just like, you know, not that it's bad to be maybe only inspired by bands in your scene. You know, you have like kind of a local special thing, that's cool too, but I'm just as interested, and I think other artists are just as interested in knowing like, you know, wow, you were really fascinated with Fifth Element or, you know, something, and they're just like, you slipped a reference. How important is that to you, really? So it's cool to see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it probably wasn't a couple of years after I was like looking at the closure of Moscow Wikipedia way back when, and I was just like, I think I've seen this. I should go pick this up. I'm pretty sure I saw Robert Anton Wilson's name in that shit. Um, and yeah, I'm probably three-quarters of the way through it and 0% as far as understanding what is going on, really. But I am
It's
a fan of like Discordianism and like his thing. So
yeah,
yeah,
he was a very interesting character.
for sure.
One
Um,
thing that I've found that has inspired me, maybe more than anything else in a weird way. Do you guys know the Netflix show Chef's Table?
oh my God, I don't think I watch it consistently, but yeah, I do.
No.
There's something about that show and the way it's presented. I mean, if you look at it in its particulars, it's a show about chefs and about their cooking. And it's like, how does that relate to being inspired as a musician? But I mean, conceptually and underneath it, it is just chronicling these very, very creative, passionate people that are at the top of their game in their chosen field of creativity. And the way it presents, you know, stuff about not just their cooking, like a normal cooking show, it's like their life, their philosophies, the journey that got them there, how that's imbued into their cooking, how they approach cooking creatively, and what it means to them. Um, Something about that show, I'm like, any creative person, any artist could watch this and be really invigorated and inspired. Just seeing like these cross sections of like people from completely different walks of life. You know, one episode's about a dude from New York that goes to become one of the best ramen chefs in Japan, or
Okay.
like, you know, a guy that's a butcher in Italy that, you know, loves and cares for the animals and believes that's the most important part of being a butcher, and then decided that, you know, out of respect for the animals, he better start his own restaurant to show people, you know, it's more than just filet mignon steaks and, you know, eye fillets, and here's how you use the whole animal. And it goes into this whole weird philosophical thing about his like his conflict with, you know, loving the animals but being a butcher, and just really really cool. Like I was very surprised by how that show presented, just thinking, okay, this is just a cooking show about chefs. um yeah, I would recommend to anyone, and you guys, like if you've not really seen it, like very very inspirational. And I think it just speaks to something deeper just about being a human pursuing a craft in general.
Right, and that's kind of what I think is so great about these other things. Basically like you just explained with your own experience with Chef's Table, is like getting to witness these creative endeavors without thinking of things in terms of like, even if it is a literal competition, you might not think of it because you're not a chef, or like you're not a musician necessarily, when you're watching someone else just be good at what they do. But somehow it's still, you carry that back to the studio, you're just to the demo process, you're like, damn, I can't believe that dude from New York is now the greatest ramen chef in Japan. That makes no sense, but here we are. I mean, it kind of
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you like it's just cool to see, because at the end of the day, it is just like, yeah, a human being wanting to express themselves in their chosen medium, and there's always a journey attached to that, and it's really cool to see that in other disciplines and pull from it. Like, I know Barrett has on and off been inspired by Bruce Lee and his whole like approach to things in his writings and in his ideas and philosophies. And yeah, it's just really cool to cut underneath the like, oh, I'm inspired by the output, but then going a layer deeper and going, what was this person about that led to that output?
Yeah, that can be, so much more relatable than their very skill.
Yeah.
But it's been it was great to sort of experience that en masse with Pink Lemonade. Seemed like such an amazing convergence of like references to things in technology, references to fantasy, references to things that existed, but utterly in its own unique universe. Like you couldn't take any one element that may have been referred to or inspired that and get Pink Lemonade out of it. You'd have to have all 100 something things just kind of brewing. But yeah, I think you guys are sort of ahead of the curve with that shit. It might not feel like it, but the way you guys have brought in obscure influence to your songwriting process, and like the effect that has on the depth of the songs, I think it's why I have stuck around. I know all these years, just thinking like, Jesus, these songs are not just 3-minute, 30-second ideas that got finished in the studio. A lot of these things have a lot to say and a lot to keep inspiring people. It's we're still listening to all the records all the years later, as much as we ever did. So
Oh, that's super, super lovely to hear.
yeah, I no ass kissing. That's the truth. Honestly, I haven't even listened to the remastered version of First Temple yet, just because I have First Temple like where I need it to be, um,
Yeah.
as it was. But I am curious. I'm definitely excited to check it out. And before we run into any more sinister errors, we can say our goodbyes. But it was so great to talk to you guys. Thank you so much for having me. Um, is there anything you want to say to the lovely fucks in the US before you see us in a few weeks?
Come down to the shows and check it out. It's going to be a hell of a time.
Yeah, come say hi. It's always a pleasure to meet you all. It's just as fun as playing for you guys. So yeah, we're really looking forward to it again. If the last time's anything to go off, I'm sure you're gonna roll out the red carpet again. And yeah, let's just fucking live, laugh, love.
Excellent. All righty. Well, thank you guys so much. I will get this stuff edited together as soon as possible. I think it's gonna export me this video file as well when we close out here, and I'll have the audio for the whole time. So we'll put in some of that toe finder stuff in the middle there. Either way, thank you guys both so much again for taking the time. I hope you both have a good rest of your day. Travel safe, and then I will see you in Salt Lake.
Awesome. See you there.
Thanks,
Thank
man. We'll
you.
see you then.
All right, adios, guys.
See you later.
End the meeting for all.